Hello and welcome to Jtimes, where we uncover the Kabbalah take on Jewish issues and current events. With me, as usual, is Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman. Hello, Dr. Laitman. And today's topic is going to be education. Last time we talked about assimilation, and we ended up with the conclusion that the problem really is education. We're not educated into understanding our own role and the role of our children in life in general, and specifically as Jews. So that's what we're going to focus on this time. So let me just, before we go into reading all kinds of material that I've collected, what is the role of Jews that they need to be educated about? Because that's what we ended up last time. So please just lay it out first, and then we'll talk about educating toward it.
Our world develops according to the ego, the human ego that develops all the time. So a human, since he's born, he keeps developing with the development of his ego until when he's an adult, and then the ego begins to decline. And this is how we develop from generation to generation. We're very different from animals in this sense. There's a very big difference between different people. There's difference between generations. And also within my personal life cycle, I also develop and change. So in the last few thousands of years, we eventually ended up developing so much technology, culture, science, and so on. And eventually, say from about 50 or 60 years ago, we've come to a point where our ego has suddenly stopped its regular development. And we started getting into greater and greater problems like drug abuse, divorce rates, depression rates rising. People don't want anything.
Yeah. Sounds to me like we're more egoistic than before.
No. Our ego has become strange, new, weird. It's a despair that comes as a despair of this world. I don't feel like there's a reason to keep chasing all stuff in this world.
Yes, but that's what we're constantly doing. We're in this rat race, constantly chasing new technological innovations and, trends in music and trends in culture. And
this is because all kinds of media channels are trying to inspire us, but the fact is that people are as if exhausted within, and there's a lot of sociological and psychological research showing that. And it's not just that we face crises in education, even culture, even science, in the family unit. People don't even want to get married. Divorce rates are soaring. Drug abuse is rising, depression rates, and so on. We're also seeing that there is a crisis in the ecology that is threatening us more and more. And the main thing is the economic or financial level of the crisis, which is threatening us to a point where we don't even understand what we're facing in the near future. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And all of that is related to the role of Jews.
Yes.
Okay. Do explain.
Well, now, all of this happens because our world has become integral, like round, like a circle. And we can't relate to it as a circle. When I say circle, I mean that we're all interdependent in it. And we feel that interdependence, just as it's felt in Europe, in the European Union, the market, and between countries. The regular person, common person, doesn't really feel that he's interdependent with everyone else. But we read about a lot of research talking about this and phenomena like the butterfly effect and so on. The problem is not that we are so influenced by these phenomena. The problem is that in order to run the systems, all the man-made systems that we built, culture, education, science, family, financial institutions, economics, all those systems, we now have to run them in a global, integral manner as well, because everything is interdependent. But in order to run things like that in an interdependent way, I have to feel that interdependence. meaning we have to be in that as an integrated part ourselves. But I'm still an egoist, meaning we're thinking only of ourselves. I can't think of others.
But if I'm an egoist, I can't be an integral person, I don't know, a global person?
No, because
Why not?
you're missing that sensitivity, that emotion of thinking about, in order to think about the world. You're only thinking about yourself. Like it or not, that's how you're built by nature. I'm not blaming you. We're all like that.
No, I admit.
The problem is this. We don't have an integral thinking, an integral approach. Integral means that we're all one family. Can I really think of everyone as one family? There are so many people in the world, and groups that I hate and groups that I'm just indifferent to, that I don't even think about the whole world, maybe out of the entire world, I know 100 or 200 people that I really, feel connected. What about the world? What is the world to me?
It sounds very unrealistic that everyone would think of everyone else as their family.
But we are approaching a state where we will be so interdependent in such a tight, strict manner that forces us to relate to it. Science is now talking about this. The question is, what are we going to do with this?
Okay.
It's a true problem.
Okay, so fine, that's the problem. We understand we're becoming all dependent on each other in this network or mesh or whatever, and we can't get out of it. Fine. Now,
no, not to get out of it.
We can't get out of it.
Yes, we now need to learn how to run systems that are naturally
And the Jews know how to do
integrated. No. The system, any system that is now how to run it in a new method.
A lot of people, by the way, are blaming the Jews for causing the crisis, so they obviously don't know how to run it.
The Jews, who don't know it themselves, they have a certain special education that we call integral education, an integral education based on the wisdom of Kabbalah that builds and awakens in them the sense of feeling the world as integrated, as interconnected. It exists within the people of Israel.
Wait, okay, I get it. We have an integral world. So an integral world requires integral education.
Integral management.
Integral management.
Yes.
And for that, you need integral education.
True.
Okay, and who knows integral education? Kabbalah? Jews? Who?
Kabbalah.
Kabbalah.
And the wisdom of
Okay.
Kabbalah states that first, that integral education has to be taught to the Jews, since they have a certain relation, sensitivity to it. Preparations, inner preparations, that allow them to grasp it fast. And they have the ability to later bestow that onto the world, whereas the other nations don't have that. And that's exactly the reason for the hatred that everyone feels towards us, because in fact we're holding the method to correct the world, and yet we don't use it and implement it ourselves, and we don't deliver it to others as well. You said an episode ago, or 2 episodes ago, you talked about Henry Ford. That's
Right.
where it comes from.
Yes, he wrote it. But he wrote something about the prophetic, that we should give the enlightenment to the world from the prophetic enlightenment or whatever from the Bible, that's what we should give to the world. And that's what you mean by that?
Yes, of course.
That's the prophecy?
Yes, of course.
Integral education or integral management.
Yes.
Okay, so let's make a little test here. I'm Jewish. Okay? Give me the, 5 basic principles of integral education, and let's see if I get it.
By nature, we have come to a state where the whole of humanity has become one family.
Well, I understand the interdependent, connected. Family is a different story.
There's a difference between being interconnected and being interdependent. Interconnected, you can say, yeah, sure, everything is connected, even the inanimate, vegetative, animate levels of nature, the ecosystem, yeah, it's all connected.
Right, ecosystem,
Earth is one.
whatever.
But besides being connected, if we are all connected in the same system, does it obligate us to do something or not?
I guess it does.
If we cause some evil in some part of the system, can there be goodness in some other part if it's all connected?
Right.
So now the question is this: how much do we really influence each other? How much are we really interdependent? If you discover now that I do evil to you through my actions, I'll be your enemy.
Right.
So if we discover that by nature we're all interconnected, and I may do some actions without, any calculation towards you, and I cause you, even without, not deliberately, I do evil to you.
It doesn't matter. You are my enemy. You are, my enemy.
So this is what is happening to us. This is what is happening to us. It's what's happening now. We are ruining the world, ruining the relations between us, destroying our lives because we don't understand how to take each other into account.
Okay, so we have to be considerate of each other.
We are interconnected, we're interdependent, and the result is we have to be considerate of each other. Right?
Yes.
How will I take into account each and every one, and what? Take 7 billion people into account?
I know. That's why I'm saying it's unrealistic.
Oh, that's correct. You're right. But on the one hand, on the other hand, if I won't know how I'm connected to all the others, and if none of them, if they don't know how they're connected to me, we will only be ruining each other's lives. And it'll be unbearable.
I don't even know what my son is feeling right now. Maybe he's thirsty and I don't know about it right now. How am I supposed to know what 7 other billion people are feeling or wanting or whatever?
I'm not talking about how it's possible to feel. I'm just putting you in front of a realistic problem that we're facing today. First of all, let's discuss the problem itself.
Okay.
Leave the solution aside.
Right. The problem, I understand.
Okay, you understand it. What do you understand?
That we're all interdependent.
That we are interdependent like cogwheels.
Well, yes, if you do something bad, it hurts me. That's what I understand.
Not just that. Every cogwheel that spins, even a little bit, forces you to spin also.
Okay.
Bit by bit. Disclosing the truth is not so simple. But firstly, we have to reveal what does an integrated analog system means. It's not like we evolved so far where everyone pulled in every direction they wanted.
So if this is you and this is me, and you move this way, I have to move
Correct.
this way, and I have no choice. Okay, so far not good.
Of course it's not good. It's very, very bad. It's very threatening. This is the beginning of the crisis that we are now entering and experiencing. These are the symptoms of all the process that we're now entering. Those cogwheels are beginning to close into each other, to interlock. They first, before that, they used to spin, freely. Now it's like there's a clutch and they're starting to be locked. If I won't feel all the system, the 7 billion cogwheels, and that if I move this way or that way, how much am I useful or beneficial to the entire system? Not to each and every one individually, but to the whole system. If I don't feel that I work to the benefit of the system or to its detriment, then I will ruin the system and ruin myself because I depend on it.
Because you're part of the system.
So I have to get a sense of the general collective system.
Okay, so it's not like I have to know what every wheel and part in the system is doing. I have to know what the system wants of me. In
Yes.
general. Okay.
Easier. Okay. But how do you do that? How do you come to that sensation?
The system has to tell me.
That's why there's something called integral education.
Which does what?
It develops in a person a sense of the others. And this is really what the Torah means by saying, love thy friend as thyself.
Wait. So now we're going back to sensing people instead of sensing the system?
No. Love thy friend as thyself means feeling the collective system outside of me. With regards to each and everyone individually, we'll talk later to see whether it's possible.
So love your friend as yourself is not necessarily loving every person. It's understanding or feeling the system.
The general collective system, the whole of nature, in fact, including animate, vegetative, and inanimate levels of nature, the entire ecological system, everything outside of me, I have to begin to feel that as my parts. Only in that way will be able to survive on the face of planet Earth today.
How does integral education teach me that?
Integral education develops this new sense of what's outside of others.
But there are people who are already very sensitive to others and who care a great deal about other people, about the world in general, about certain systems in the world, certain parts of the world, certain nations in the world, and we're not saying that they have this. And they never studied integral education.
True. They have that in an inborn, natural way.
So is that good?
And there are many such
Is
people.
that good? Are they okay? Are they...
Yes, of course. There are approximately 10% of the whole of humanity that are altruists, that are doing good to people, that are trying to help others, that are helping in hospitals, that are working in organizations of voluntary mutual assistance and things like that. Sure. That's not what we're talking about, however. Let's talk at least about the other people.
Because I'm saying, if I'm not like that, and I'm not, so maybe I should go to them and ask them, tell me what to do, and then they'll tell me what to do, and I'll be okay.
No, there's a different problem here. You have to, each and everyone in the world will have to change their entire lives in accordance with beginning to feel the others. To the extent that we improve our relation to others, accordingly we'll have to change all our systems: industry, economy, finance, education, culture, family relations, children education, everything.
What way? Change it.
From beginning to feel the world differently, that it belongs to you. That's why it will change. Your philosophy of life, your perception of the world will change your attitude, and you'll change all your plans and systems. And only then you'll come out of the crisis.
I don't mean to make it difficult, but if you're saying that these altruists, these 10% altruists are okay, and they can already feel the system, then I don't understand.
They can't change the system.
No, but they can feel it.
No. They simply feel a good relation to the world and to others. They don't want to harm others. They even want to help others. They still don't have this integral approach. They simply naturally built in this way. Don't confuse them with all of those who receive integral education and become sensible of the others.
Can you clarify the difference between those who have a nice attitude towards other people or towards the world and those who study integral education and become integral people?
You can relate to the world entirely in a good way. You know, if I see that something bad is happening in the world, I feel sorry about it. I may even help others, even give charity. Why am I doing that?
Because you think it's the right thing to do.
Because you feel pain from it.
It hurts you to see it.
You feel bad, and in order to stop feeling bad about it, you want to remove this phenomenon from the world.
Now you're telling me
You can talk about other reasons, but this is psychologically correct.
So you're saying
You can't stand
my
something.
own selfish reasons make me want to make something bad disappear.
Yes, there are many other bad things in the world, perhaps, but you don't see them or feel them as so bad, and therefore you don't worry about removing that as well. Okay, now, this is not the correction of the world, because you've done that not because you are making the world connected and integrated. You're doing all kinds of things and fixing all kinds of things that feel bad to you.
So only being integral means correcting the world.
Correct.
Why? What changes?
Because this is a clarion of nature. Nature is forcing us to do this. We have evolved over thousands of years egoistically. Everyone has evolved, and we've reached a point where our egoism became integrated. We're all connected to each other today, like it or not. The cogwheels, metaphorically, have became interlocked, and we can't separate from each other. So everyone who's causing these wheels to spin harmoniously together is working for the benefit of the world. Those who don't know how to do that and do the opposite are harming the world. And it has nothing to do with those 10% altruistic people who are trying to put off fires here and there, which they feel is bad here and there.
But they don't, those altruists, they don't feel that the world is like that already, locked.
No. They were born in this, with this capacity of feeling they need to help others. They always existed, not necessarily in recent times.
So let me see if I can summarize what you've been saying. The world is already integral. It's already connected. We're already affecting each other like this.
Yes.
We're not aware of it, but we feel bad. Why do we feel bad? Because we are not aware of it.
Because you want to spin in one direction, I want to spin in another
Right.
direction.
I'm not aware of it, so we all want to go our different ways, and we end up hurting each other.
Yes. And this is 7 billion cogwheels.
Yes, it's a big problem. No doubt. So integral education, what it does is it makes me conscious of the fact that we're like that. So now, when I want to move, I take into account the entire system.
You have to feel it entirely, the entire system, and then feel, if I do this, is it good for the system? If I do that, is it bad for it? I have to have the sensitivity, and then accordingly, I operate in life.
So only when I become sensitive to that, do I become an integral person, and then I'm not suffering from the crisis anymore.
Right, because the crisis comes from the fact that everyone wants to spin in a different direction, in their direction. They still want to live the way they lived before, and it doesn't work anymore.
Okay. So what if I want to go this way, but the system wants me to go that way? So I know I have to go that way, but my desire is to go that way.
Right.
So I'm still suffering.
But then you are going against your will, because you're seeing that your egoistic desire doesn't pull you in the right direction, and you're seeing what may happen. It's easy for you, through integral education, it's easy for you to see how much you benefit by spinning with others.
So I see that it's just not worthwhile going that way.
Yes. Now, how do you start it? How do you enter it in order to have a great life? How do we do it? It's actually simple. We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, okay, we have 20 seconds. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman. That was very enlightening. I hope we talk about it in the next time about how we actually implement integral education and become integral people, because it sounds like something that I want to be. Thank you very much. And bye to you all.